I'm Ariana Grande.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Erivo.
And you're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
Visit bpn.fm to discover more.
There's a cat over here. There's a cat over there. And the wrong one died. And the wrong one died.
Welcome to The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown of the catastrophe. I'm your host, Mike Abrams, and today we have another fun episode. You might have seen him on Broadway in this tiny little musical called Hamilton, where he recently played James Madison. But I'm throwing away my shot at that discussion to talk about his performance as Old Deuteronomy at Elon University in college. So welcome, Fergie L, Philippe, and thank you for joining me.
Oh, thank you for having me, man. Listen, this show is infamously my favorite show that I did at Elon, so I'm very excited to get to talk about it.
I love it. So I guess how many shows did you do at Elon University?
Well, I mean, shows overall over 20, but
wow.
CATS was part of our main stage program that we put on, I want to say 6 main stages every year. And I got to do, I think, 8 of the main stage shows. And we did CATS in the winter of my senior year.
So let's talk, I guess before we talk about that production, tell me about your CATS history. Had you seen it before that production? Did you know much about it?
I had once seen it. I think I was a junior. I think I had watched it with a group of friends intoxicated because we knew we were going to be doing the show next year. And so we
you got
all
the schedule.
Together.
You're like, we got the schedule. All right, I gotta get ready.
I was like, I need to do some research.
Yeah. And so you saw the 1998 movie.
We saw the tape. We saw
tape, VHS. Okay, the even better.
Yes.
VHS tape. To prep for it.
I think we had gone to Goodwill earlier in the week, and he had found it in the VHS section, which still exists at most Goodwills. And
you're at a major university. You couldn't have gone to the public library and grabbed it?
They didn't have that.
No
they didn't have CATS, which is probably a good decision on their part. Which is probably a good decision on their part.
So you had never been exposed to it until your junior in college.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only song that I knew was, I know the famous but the Jellicle Ball. I know the Jellicle Ball, and I knew the opening because when I was in high school, I went to a summer camp. Shout out to Frenchwood's Festival of the Performing Arts. We had this thing called Cabaret Troupe, and one year we were doing London, and the opening number was the first 16 bars of CATS.
Wow. So that's rare because I'm used to people saying that they knew memory and only memory.
Yeah, I kind of knew the intro. I knew memory how I just knew Memory, All Alone in the Moonlight. That's really about it. And I only knew it because of School of Rock, that one moment in School of Rock. But I didn't really know Memory like that. Yeah,
so I love that your first interaction with the musical was intoxicated because that's the way I think you should be seeing it.
Yeah, I thought it was correct.
So what did you how'd you feel watching it? And then did you even know who Old Deuteronomy was when you were watching the VHS?
I knew Ken Page was in it, and that's really all I cared about. Someone said I didn't want to watch this. That was also something that should be stated. I was very against watching the show for that night. But somebody said, but Fergie, Ken Page is in it. And I said, okay, well, hit play because I love Ken Page. Ken Page is one of my, vocal idols. But I remember watching it. I think I actually had a very good sense about it because I didn't feel anything like, why am I watching this? What is happening? I was just having a great time. And it was probably because I was intoxicated. I don't think that I took it too seriously. I was just like, there are all these people in unitards dancing very well to some really interesting psychedelic 80s Andrew Lloyd Webber jams. That's what we'll call them.
Yeah. That is, I guess, an interesting introduction to the musical. I mean, you know a little bit of the beginning, a couple bars of Memory, and then you're about to audition for it and you're about to do it in college. So you're ready to go.
So I'm ready to go. It was Skimbleshanks that made me be like, oh, I don't am I really gonna, if I get cast, will I hate myself? It was Skimbleshanks that really made me understand why people didn't like the show.
That was your hate? You hated Skimbleshanks?
I don't hate Skimbleshanks, but it was one of those numbers that I was like, how did this get approved?
You made it a long way through that musical before you said, wow, how did this get approved?
I know. I think I would say that I have a very low, I have a high tolerance for bad musical theater in terms of watching it. And I don't think necessarily Cats is a bad musical. Even watching the beginning part of it, I was like, I can get with this. I can let myself, invest in this. But Skimbleshanks was the moment where I was like, oh, this is why people are upset. This is why people have a very active anger.
See, I didn't walk out of the show. I saw it in 2016 as a revival on Broadway. And then I saw it again a year later, almost to the day. And then when I was starting to prepare for this podcast, because, I got suckered into doing this, I was watching them like individually on YouTube, but I was like, I should watch the whole thing. And I ended up watching it on a plane because I was able to buy and download to watch offline on a plane. And I watched it on an iPad on a plane, and the whole time I was like, what's happening? Like, what is happening here again? Because I wasn't intoxicated, but I've got a lot of opinions on the show, but I want to get to your performance. How long was your run?
It was, I think, 6 performances over a span
of
one weekend. No, it was over a weekend, actually. It was one weekend. We did a show Thursday, a show Friday, 2 shows Saturday, 2 shows Sunday, and then we were done. That's how it went.
So what was told to you? Because I've been fascinated by the storyline, the plot or lack thereof plot. And there's a million ways to interpret these characters. And it seems like there are parts that are just like unwritten parts that everyone's told. But in a production like this, it's going to be one weekend. How much did they tell you about Old Deuteronomy? Like, what did they say? This is what you need to know. Here's how you need to embrace it. Did they give you any heads up on like how to take on this role?
Yes, no.
Yes.
I remember that there were directions in the callbacks, just simple as you are in charge of everyone. In our production, Deuteronomy was basically everyone's father. That was essentially how we kind of played it out. That we would figure out the family tree later. We would figure out the tree later, but essentially Deuteronomy was the all madra of fathers for Cats. That's
a little dark though now when you think about it, because it means that you're about to kill one of your kids.
It means I'm about to kill one of my kids. That's right.
Yeah.
We'll get into we'll definitely get into a lot. There were a lot of different choices that we decided to go this route, because it should also be stated this production was done right after the 2016 election.
Right after the election. So that would have been before. No, the revival had already been going.
The revival had already been going, yes. But we had managed to get the rights right before they cut off any school production. So we were the only outside production doing Cats next to the cruise ship.
Yeah.
At the time.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So your one weekend that you couldn't see it on Broadway, it was
you came down to Elon, North Carolina, and you came and seen these college kids do some Cats. But I only remembered as far as the director. Her name's Lynn Formato. God bless that woman. She and I had a great relationship. We had worked together on a few shows at Elon, and she was very good that she always artistically trusted me in whatever show that I did with her. So there wasn't necessarily a lot of conversation always. But the one thing that she said to me after rehearsal once is, you're playing him like a great Shakespeare king. And that's the direction I want you to keep going in. And that was basically it. That was kind of the only direction that I had.
So Shakespeare king, dad of everybody. And nothing else. Did they tell any other line, like for other characters? What other family trees relationships did you establish as truth?
So once we got into rehearsals, the way that we established the tree, and I cannot remember if we made it in rehearsal with everybody else or if we just as a cast did it. I had many conversations with cast members, like different cast members, about the specificities of relationships. So all I knew is that I had a set of children that involved Munku Strap, Rum Tum, I think Coricopat. Nope, not Coricopat.
And potentially Mistopheles.
Mistopheles, there we go. That's who I'm looking for. So my main three oldest children were Mistopheles, Rum Tum, and Munku Strap. Other children included Demeter and Bombayarina.
What about McCavity?
McCavity was my son. McCavity was our son who went astray and fell off the beaten path. Jenny Any Dots, it was my best friend Jessie. We originally decided we were exes, and then she got the memo that everyone was my child, and she said, "I'm very sorry. I did not mean to turn this into an incestuous cat relationship. That's not what I was going for."
So she could be mom.
She could be mom, but I think
she's mom.
I think she. So this is how it differs with us. She decided to bow out, and I think she might have even said sister or something. I can't remember how that went, but essentially our overall dynamic was that Grizzy was mom.
Wow,
Grizzy was everyone's mom.
I've not heard that.
Yes, I was father. Grizzy was mom. Grizzy left us to start another cat litter.
And now you come back and murder your ex-wife. Like, your production is dark. This production is very scandalous.
Was so dark. It was amazing. I was so here for it. But it was, I think the day we all decided that Grizzy was mom, there was so much. The moment after the Jellicle Ball, when she comes back, and it's right before the first memory, before the intermission, the first time we ran that sequence, there was such hatred in the room. And I wish I was joking, but it was kind of the first time that all of us truly emotionally connected to what we were portraying.
Well, yeah.
Because we really were like, wow, this is a very different turn that we're making with these cats, but I think we like it. And so that was our family tree, essentially.
So there is the Grisabelle Old Deuteronomy are together rumor.
Yes.
But I've just had trouble with that one because I have trouble with him then picking her to win.
Oh, yeah. Our production was also problematic because Old Deuteronomy was kind of a blinded idiot in terms of picking Grisabella. We made it very clear that I don't want to answer a question too early, but then I'll just say this. There was one cat that we as a cast decided should have gone. And then Deuteronomy picks Grisabella. And there was a moment where everyone is like, you sure? And then the naming of cats is how I convinced everyone.
So I'm assuming that's Gus.
Yes, we all fully decided that Gus should have gone to the Heaviside layer.
So this is usually my last question, but we're just going to flip the script today.
Great, amazing.
Do you think it should be Gus?
Me as a person, Fergie.
As a person, yes,
absolutely.
So your team Gus,
not deserve.
But you, as you're not going to sit here and try to change a show that's been around for 40 plus years. So you just were like, all right, we're just going to stick with it. And here's sing your song.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I guess we're not going to try to do daring theater. We're going to sit here and do the same old thing that we've been doing for years. But no, Gus should go.
He has the most logical explanation when you break down everything about this show. There's almost the only argument I've heard against it was from Christopher Gurr, who played Gus.
Okay.
In the 16 revival. And he said that he didn't think he had another life to live. So he thought if he died, it would be over. And I kept thinking that's just him telling himself so he doesn't get angry.
So he doesn't get
8
angry.
shows a week that he's not
There we
picked.
go.
But that's like the only thing I can think about is that like maybe because otherwise I'm with you. I don't know how you don't pick him. And that's not the angle I've taken, but that's the one that makes the most sense to me and most people.
Yes, I felt like there was another person that in my mind I was like, they also could. I couldn't remember who the next person was. Maybe it was Jelly. I don't think it was Jelly.
It's probably
but there
Jenny.
was another.
It's usually Jenny.
Jenny is the next person. I could see Jenny. We didn't make Jenny that much older in ours. Jenny was pretty.
So that's why
Jenny
she's
was
generally
pretty
picked.
young in ours. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's usually because there's like 3 tiers of cat ages,
right,
in the production, and so it's usually pretty much goes in that tier. Grisabella, Gus, Jenny, I think Jelly, maybe Bustifer, but no one really argues for him.
No one argues.
And then it goes down to the next tier, and it's like Bomb, Tugger, Mistopheles, Monkstrap. And then it's like the last tier where it's Victoria and Alonzo and all those like the kittens where it's like they don't have any argument.
They know nothing.
But there's a lot of ways to angle that. So I'm glad that you're okay. So your team Gus. So you're with me that the wrong cat dies.
Oh, 100%.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that happened in the 2016 revival and again, this is like my only frame of reference, is that in an intermission, Old Deuteronomy sits on stage the entire time. Did you have to do that? No. Okay.
I was quite vocal since day one.
Did they try to make you do that?
They asked me and I said, absolutely not.
I'm glad you did.
I was like, no, I'm going to go backstage and get a intermission. But also what should be noted is that conceptually our Old Deuteronomy was very different from how he's usually played. Like the Ken Page version / the Quentin Earl Arrington version, I call that the mop. That's like the mop Deuteronomy, how he's conceptualized. But ours was very Silver Fox, very like almost Morgan Freeman-esque. Like we made him, he's older, but he could still kick some ass if he needed to. You know what I'm saying? Like he still has got the ability to go off.
So you probably should have fought McCavity in that scene. Like he didn't get kidnapped.
Absolutely.
You would have handled business if you needed to.
I would have handled some business. Well, I think that's what made some of the McCavity stuff. That's where I remember as a production were kind of trumped because there were a lot of moments where Deuteronomy would have like the ability, like if there was ever the first couple times, we think McCavity is around, usually it's just Munkustrap and Rum Tum and Mistopheles handling business. But in our production, it was just me and Munkustrap.
So, okay. So they weren't even the other two, the two potential lovers were.
The two potential lovers
were backstage doing their thing.
Backstage, yeah. They were backstage handling the masses while me and Munkustrap, my oldest son, we handled everything. We made sure everything was good. So the kidnapping was definitely one of those, like, we just have it's plot, so we can't cut it. We have to put it.
Yeah, you got to bring it back in.
We just got to make it happen.
Did you do Growl Tiger and Griddlebone?
We cut it.
Okay, so that's not in the 16 revival, or at least I don't remember if it was. And it was like weirdly added to the new movie.
Yes. I still have to see the new movie. I'm waiting for the right time. I don't know if that time will ever come, but I will watch it sometime.
You need to watch it in a similar state to when you watched the 1998 movie.
This is exactly
my recommendation. I feel like since you've been in it, you'll get more of an appreciation than what comes from it. There are some artistic choices that might not have worked.
Sure.
But overall, it's Cats with a little bit more plot and an extra song. It's like it really is still Cats. And so it gets a lot of hate because I think just like the musical, it's easy to poke fun at.
100%.
And the movie was even easier to poke fun at because there were a lot of artistic choices and errors.
Yeah, man, ripping skin off. That's just that's a real daring choice to make someone rip off their fur.
there were just some editing pieces in the very first week too, where there was just like a guy in a hoodie that wasn't like forgot that he was supposed to be not in that shot, and it's like probably like some sound engineer or something, like some guy doing something staging, and then all of a sudden they start doing it, and it's like, oh no, he's still there.
I also heard there is a butthole edit.
Butthole edit, yeah. There's that got some traction with, what was it? Seth Rogen. I think somebody like really went after it.
Seth Rogen, and
there is a cut of that. There's a lot. I mean, Andrew Lloyd Webber kind of stepped away and kind of backed out of being involved. Jason Derulo said that he thought it was going to change the world. So like there's a lot. I just think like kudos to all those people for getting paid. Like, they made some money. The movie didn't, but all the actors did. And actors got,
hey, listen, the actor, Andy Blankenbuehler, he got his check, and they were all good to go.
And I think it's going to make some money in its longer life.
I think Universal has known exactly how this is going to go. Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about some other Old Deuteronomy questions and rumors. Did you think you even had a chance to be picked for the Heaviside Layer?
Oh, that old dude gets to go? No. Absolutely not.
Like, you don't even think you're in the running?
I think the complicated thing with old dude's position of being sent to the Heaviside Layer is that because he's the one who picks it, he would have to dethrone himself from the litter. He would have to dethrone himself as litter. So I believe that when he hands the crown over to Munkustrap to officially take over, he's done. And then, it's up to Munkustrap whether or not he sends his father to the Heaviside Layer. And that's a whole other musical.
That is Cats 2. I've heard a lot of variation of Cats 2 already on this podcast. That is, so I kind of agree. I just didn't think it's that he has a chance, but I think it's an interesting question of like, why not?
Why not? Yeah, it's true. And it's also, it then goes into the question of whether or not is Deuteronomy aligned with godliness. Like there has to be that conversation, especially since he has a biblical name. Like there's just one of those things, because that's also not really established whether or not Deuteronomy is like a genuine like figure amongst these cats, or if he is like a representative from the Heaviside Layer that has been sent to Earth in cat form to pick.
And is the Heaviside Layer actually a place, or is it a reborn? Which is another piece that's kind of argued.
I never thought about that.
Because there's a rumor, and I don't remember where I heard this originally. It was some video, is that there was a place in the Winter Garden Theater, or there was a place like in the attic or in the balcony or somewhere up there that they kind of called the Heaviside Layer. And it was just a place up in the theater. And so I think it might have even been Ken Page or somebody was talking about how there's some story behind that.
Wow.
I could be totally making that up too. I don't know. But I remember vaguely hearing that.
That's hilarious. I hope that's true. There's
a lot of pieces to that. And like I made up one that I know is not correct, but I think is fun.
Please tell me.
There is a 2016 cat that's called Peter that is played by Gus in the Bustifer track. And it's just basically the name of a cat that dances in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And it's a totally worthless character. And it's always been my, like, why does it even exist? Especially with all these crazy names. Why is Peter just thrown out there?
Right.
So I'm thinking maybe, because he's only in that first dance, that maybe he's St. Peter. And he's down there to kind of like scope things out. And he actually is managing the Heaviside Layer. And that's why he only dances the first number, because then he's got to go up to greet Grisabella when she gets there.
He comes down, he does a little jig.
Yeah, make sure everything's okay, gets everything started. Right.
Everyone's good. I got to go back, guys.
Yeah, this has been great. Old dude's in charge. Our rep is there to pick, to vote and choose. I can go back up and we'll be back. And then there's also a rumor. There's a rumor that makes this a step further, is that there's a baby Grizz in some of the opening numbers, which again, I don't know if there's a lot of truth to that, but it's just, I think they need bodies in the opening number a lot of times. So and one is called Baby Grizz, and I'm like, maybe Peter and Baby Grizz are down there.
Peter and Baby Grizz are down there.
Foreshadowing.
Whoa. You know what? I would buy that theory. I actually would very much buy a reincarnation theory. I think that would be a very, very that would be a relatable 9-cat life.
Yeah, I have no way to verify it because Andrew Weber ignores all of my DMs.
Oh, all your media requests.
Where I want to ask him about this. So I have no idea to verify if that's just overthinking. Right. I'm pretty sure the beauty of cats is that there is no answer to 99% of the questions. It's just
no Bible to
cats dancing and singing, and then that's it.
You figure out the rest.
Yeah, you solve the problem. And they tried in the movie to put some like storyline in there, and we all know what happened. So it's like they should just go back to not telling anybody anything that's happening and see what they come up with.
Exactly.
So let's talk about a couple other parts of the musical I know that you have strong opinions on. So I think you mentioned the moments of happiness.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
So what are your thoughts? Like, what bothers you about it?
I wish I had thoughts. I don't know what that song means.
I
performed it, and it was upsetting because when we blocked it, the director said, Fergie, let's just talk. And the weird for me, I didn't see the 2016 revival, but in our production, they had all the cats come back out on stage, and I sang the moments of happiness to everyone. And so I'm singing this song, and she just goes, so what does it mean? You're an actor who does research. Tell me what you researched about this song. And I was like, oh, I did, apparently. And I don't know what I said, for sure pulled it out of my ass. And it was something about positivity and happiness in the afterlife. And everyone thought I was being profound and that I was saying good things that I truly thought about. And and the worst part is I couldn't remember what I had BS'd for the future. So when I would go to perform it again, I still was just like rattling off who knows what. And the only direction that I remember getting was, I can't even remember the lyrics. That last line, the last line that he sings before the memory reprise comes in. He has one line, and all she said was, I want you to just like flick off the line. Like, oh, well, maybe it's that, maybe it's not. Which I remember saying to myself, doesn't that negate the seriousness that apparently is required of this entire song that I still don't know the meaning of? And so I think it didn't bother me in the show, but my friend Daniel, who played McCavity in that 2016 production, I asked him one day, I was like, oh yeah, what did you guys do when it came to the moments of happiness? He said, oh, we have no idea. And I said, you're kidding. He goes, no, we truly I'm sure Q had something in his mind, but none of us knew whatever was happening during that song.
Yeah.
I just
don't know where to place it.
Does anyone know?
I don't think
anyone know what that song's about.
I'm sure a couple people, Andrew Weber's thought through it. Maybe. I don't know. At this point, I'm not sure. I assume he's thought through any of it either.
Any of it. He just hashed it out and then sent it in.
Yeah, it's an interesting place. It's an interesting kind of piece. Part of me wonders too, is like, does it just give you a chance to belt a little bit at that point? And like, maybe that was,
I'm like, that's great.
We're not utilizing this character enough. Let's give him a couple lines here to solo, and then let's move on.
Right. And then let's move on. Because I think right after that, it goes into, doesn't it go into Gus right after that?
I don't know. You're overestimating. I've not seen this full through that many times. I've seen like bits and pieces over and over again. But
he said, I may be the host,
watch through.
I think I know.
Well, and so my whole argument has been, I don't know that much about Broadway in general. Like I'm a fan, but I could tell you, you can see here, I'm wearing Pacer stuff. I got Indiana University behind me. I got sports stuff all over here. That's what I know.
Uh-huh.
But I do also appreciate like writing. And so when I saw this, I was like, there's someone jacked up this writing. And that was where all of my kind of like humor around it and kind of poking fun at it came from. And then when we started doing this, I'm still like, I couldn't tell you the first thing about any of the dance numbers and the singing. I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't tell you any of this stuff. And so what I do know is that how I interpreted what I witnessed and how I would rewrite some of these things. And that's about it. And so when you get to like the moments of happiness or stuff that's not related to any of like the characters, to where I think it's related to them, their performance to be considered, I'm just like, yeah, the Jellicle Ball, it's an orgy. What else do you need to know? Like, I don't know what else.
Precisely.
I don't really understand the point of the rest of it besides it's an orgy.
Yep.
Whereas like I interpreted this as a musical competition. And so when a cat's not giving their performance as their audition for dying, the rest of it is just like filler on a competition show. You know, it's like the little pre story about them. Like you get a little early Grisabella where they're going to talk about her rough life before she does her performance, you know, and that's how I look at this whole thing. And so all this, the Jellicle Ball, the moments of happiness, it's just like Terry Crews on America's Got Talent, kind of like doing some filler in between. That's
exactly it. It just seems like a themed dance concert. That's really, and when I say like not necessarily through lined, but themed, like this year's dance concert is Cats, and that's exactly what I think the musical is. Yeah, it's your chance to try to win, give your best effort. Feel free to do it with a partner if you want. You know, like you can, and everyone kind of numbers are welcome. Yeah,
and that's it. Absolutely. There's no more to it.
See you at the end.
And then and in that case, I don't even think Gus is the choice. I think Gus is a choice if you angle it from like, he's older, he's deserving, he's won. I think you pair a couple of the younger cats who have some great performances and send them up.
Mungo Jerry and Rumpelteazer. If it's just based on talent and skill alone, they win.
So that's hands down, when I left the first time I saw it, the only thing stuck in my head was that song. Mungo Jerry and Rumpelteazer. Couldn't stop thinking about it. The whole dance number was like incredible that these two were able to dance and sing that number, like do that entire performance in sync together and then sing. Right. But I picked Tugger and Mustapha's together. I want to pair those two. Those were two of I think the most entertaining numbers in the musical.
Yes.
They're showstoppers, both of them, like early and late. And that's who I'm picking.
Our Tugger was a drag queen.
Okay, not the rock star. So drag queen, not rock star.
It was a Beyonce inspired drag queen. Because our Tugger, Austin Henderson, who's a brilliant singer, Beyonce is his biggest inspiration. He really, he walked into that rehearsal and saw his character design, and he was like, "Wow, that wig is really luscious." And they were like, "Oh, that's right. We're gonna make it a good old like Beyonce drag queen." I don't believe we said transgendered. I think we specifically were on drag queen. And that's the route we went. And hey, he killed it.
I was gonna say, I like that. That kind of still keeps the persona of like this like confident and and just like owns that character. It was before in London, before they brought it back to New York, they did some like hip hop rapping street cat, and they changed the song. I was like, that to me misses, but but a transgender, like a drag queen version, I think would be great. Yeah.
It was a hit. And they put like pop dance moves. Like I was skeptical. I'm not even going to lie, but it worked. It was so good. And he did a great job. We had a great time with that.
What other changes did you make?
You've
got Morgan Freeman, Old Deuteronomy. You've got Beyonce, Tugger.
It was really political. We had the Peaks and the Pollicles be the Republicans and the Democrats, straight up. Like, we were not shy about it. It was the elephants and the donkeys, and they were dog toys. They were like, we made like dog toys.
Right. You said right after the election.
Right. Like, it got even more direct. We had a subplot that McCavity was McCavity was a secret agent for Trump Cat, The president of the cats was a Trump cat, and McCavity took me originally because Trump cat was going to deport all of us. We had a whole giant newspaper with a picture of Trump cat on it and everything. It was wild.
That is a different version than what I saw in 2016.
Yeah, man. It was new. It was different. We were very interested by it.
It fits my reality TV narrative.
Yeah, it kind of was. We definitely kind of played to that. Oh, we also definitely made Mistopheles gay. Like, we made that very clear during his number.
I feel like 90% of the numbers of versions of Mistopheles I've ever seen are play that up.
Are like, hey, he's gay, just so you know. Yeah. I think that's kind of the direction. We pulled out like a rainbow flag and we made a whole thing of it. So it was very progressive. It was a very, let's make this as progressive a cats as we can. Which was fun.
Fun way to like take a show that's been around for a long time and give it not like major to where you're going to anger the true fans, but give it just enough to like still have like some some personality from your cast too.
Well, that was kind of the crazy thing is that when they announced that we were going to be doing Cats next year, like none of us were excited. All of us were quite upset. But about a week into rehearsal, we realized this was going to be the most fun show we ever had the chance to do. And it was. We had such a fun time doing the show. It was so and we all committed so much. That was the biggest part, is that all of us truly did our best to commit to the full scope of being a cat. We had many days talking about cat posture, cat technique, and all these different, and we were dead serious about it. We kept each other honest with it. And we had a great time. We really did. I loved it. That was my favorite show I did at Elon. That's not even a joke. I really had such a fun time doing it.
That's so fun. And I think you have to commit when you're doing it. You gotta go all in. So before I do my rapid fire, I want to ask one more. Where do you think, because I know you had opinions on this, where do you think Grisabella goes when she leaves? You said to another litter?
Another litter.
Is that what you said? I thought that's what you said already.
I can't remember what it like
or
just now.
Just now.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, when she leaves the family, she goes to start another litter. Like she cheats. She goes to start another family. She cheats on me and has a whole other cat family, and then tries to come back because she realizes it was wrong. So that's the messiness of Grizzy in our story. Because then she leaves the family she created to come back to her OG family, and we're like, no.
And then you reward her.
Then I reward her by letting her go to the heavy side. Like her memory is her apology.
So I think 2000. I think she's like Grisabella's. I don't know what the year was. I'm drawing a blank now, but she was the shaved head Britney, and like that's what happened. She was like, she kind of did. Something went off the rails. She was the star, the superstar, had everything. Right. Something went off the rails. So she kind of disappeared. She kind of left. Mm-hmm. There was some problems, whether it's drugs or whatever it was. And then this was her, like, she got her life back in order, and that's why she comes back. And I think she comes back the first time not back in order. It was like probably like that first Vegas show when it was like stuff wasn't really back together. But like, we're gonna do it anyways. And then it's like now we're back, and that's like when she belts memory.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think that's 100% correct.
But your group took such an intense look at this. You like said, hey, she's gonna go have a second family, and then she's gonna ditch that family and come back.
We were like, what will social workers see and go, yes, I love this show? And that was the plot we ended up picking.
You have like a lot of true crime. Like, we can make this the true crime podcast here.
True crime cats podcast.
Yeah, you have a husband killing a wife. You have a disappearing family. You got a lot going on.
I don't think dysfunctional is the correct word, but it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff to figure out.
Yeah, in one weekend.
In one
long weekend.
in the middle of Elon, North Carolina.
You've got to solve all of the world's problems there. All right, let's do a couple rapid fire. And I've thought through a lot of these, so I'm happy to kind of talk through them with you. So if you were not going to be Old Deuteronomy, what other cat would you want to play?
I honestly would have loved to have done Monku Strap.
Narrator, you just want to be second. If you're not first in charge, you want to be second in charge.
I want to be second in charge. I still want to be in charge. I also would have I think Buster for Jones is hilarious.
But then you got to do Gus, and then you got to do...
And I got to do Gus and Peter, and St. Peter, which I would have done. I would have liked to have done like a multi-track. That would have been fun. I think I would have had a good time with that, for sure.
What is your favorite and least favorite cat? And it can be from your production, not person, but the actual cat.
My favorite cat is Jelly Lorem. I love Jelly Lorem. I think she's just so sweet, and I love what Jelly Lorem was in our production. Like, I mean, she's usually Gus's caretaker, but Jelly Lorem was kind of just like everyone's like mother figure. Like, she was just a very sweet, very kind person.
She gives up her chance to perform, which is like super...
Which I think is just so
giving and amazing. Yeah.
It's so beautiful. And then my least favorite cat, I don't like Coricopat and what's the other one?
Alonzo?
Yeah, I don't...
The young brothers, basically.
Yeah, I'm like, why? Why
are y'all brothers?
Here? The Kitten Brothers.
Alonzo does, in a lot of cases, dances, like both of them dance potentially with Victoria during her like coming of age.
Oh.
So that's it. I really also think he just like they made up characters and names because they were like they want to do in the beginning and ending a lot of cats on stage. And so it's just like we need some ensemble characters to just to do it.
Maybe I'm saying the wrong cat because now I'm thinking our Alonzo was definitely Victoria's partner. And if that's the cat that I'm thinking of, that's a different cat. And I actually don't have a problem with this cat. Maybe it's not Coricopat, but there's like two kittens.
So there are a couple sisters. There's Syllabub and Tantamile and a couple others. We're starting to get to the ones that are insignificant to my arguments. I know very little about them. I've always joked if you put Alonzo in a line of all the cats, I couldn't tell you which one was which.
I couldn't tell you which one was which. Syllabub was the one who would sing the memory reprise.
Yes.
So I love Syllabub. It's Tantamile. That's who it is.
So I think that's a twin with Corpcat, maybe? I don't know. There's a lot.
I think that's what it is. Coricopat and Tantamile, both of them. Useless.
What was your favorite song?
Funny enough, like performing, what was my favorite? Skimbleshanks. Performance. The part that I remember very vividly being
turned you on the movie.
That I was like, this is
your
not
favorite
it.
One.
But it was actually the one I had the most fun performing. And it was also because I just sat on the steps and watched everybody.
So you just
dance.
got to watch them do it?
I just got to watch them do it while I clapped. I love doing that.
Yeah.
I also love the Jellicle Ball. I love the Jellicle Ball. I think it's actually such a fun number. I love it musically, and I loved what we were able to do with it. And our production, Old Duke, got to dance a lot in it. So I had a lot of fun doing that.
Oh, that's cool. That's not usually brought up that much. And then it is kind of weird when you're just like, yeah, I love the orgy. The orgy was my favorite part of this musical.
Yeah.
Okay, if Alexander Hamilton and James Madison were cats.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Who would they be?
James Madison would be Gus. That's for sure. And then Alexander Hamilton. That's actually really funny because he would either be McCavity or Monku Strap. I think
I get it. I had Madison as either Gus or Old Deuteronomy. I just thought like Father of the Constitution's got to be one of the old guys
100%
right there. But I had Hamilton is monkish trap because like with him being with like everything he did with the treasury, I figured if any cat is handling the money, it's monkish trap.
Yeah, you're right. I got that. I'll definitely take that.
But I can see what's your McCavity argument?
My McCavity argument is that he will do whatever it takes to just get what he wants. It also depends on, like, as a cat, what does Hamilton want to accomplish? Because if Hamilton is just being Hamilton, you know, he has so many different avenues. But when you make Hamilton a cat, that automatically limits what his purposes in life come to be. And so if it comes from a purely survival mode, I feel like McCavity is a very liable option if it's just survival, especially from when after he gets off the island.
Yeah, he'll break every law possible to make it happen.
Just to make it happen.
I get it. And then last one, if you were quarantining with a cat, which one would you want to quarantine with?
Oh, if I was quarantining with a cat, who would I quarantine with? Oh
yeah,
my God.
Which personality is going to be best for you?
Probably Jelly. I need a calm presence.
Yeah.
And it would probably be Jelly.
I think you're one of the first people that said Jelly, but your reasoning makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, just like calm. Just like nice and calm. Has anyone said Demeter or Bombi?
Not that I can think of. Oh, well, I think somebody might have said it in terms of who they would want to play, but it was like they're also their best friend, like in the production with them.
Oh, I see.
So I think it was a little skewed. A lot of the answers are Mistopheles. Just high energy, magic, be fun.
That's too much. I can't do that in close quarters. That would drive me crazy.
Well,
I'd kill him.
Who knows what you're quarantining with? You could be in a mansion like that, which is why I've argued Bustifer. Because you're going to eat well, probably going to have a lot of money, probably going to have a lot of space.
You're actually that's an astute observation. I absolutely never would have considered Bustifer.
Everyone's always thinking about, every time I talk to Broadway, it's like you're in your New York apartment. You're like, where would I want to hang with this person?
That's what I'm thinking.
and as I've been quarantining part of the time not in New York, I'm like, there's some space out here outside of Manhattan. Like we could have some fun with some of these other guys.
Fun out here. Right, exactly.
All right. So we've already answered the most important question, which is your Team Gus.
Yeah.
So
right, Team Gus.
My last question is just always, how do we get in touch with you? What else are you working on? Social media handles, like how can people find you?
Oh man, I'm mostly on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Fergsters95, which is FERGSTERS95. Yeah, I mean, as far as what I'm working on, I'm mostly just trying to get through the days and doing a lot of writing. I do, in addition to being actor, writer, director, I'm also a puppeteer. I do puppet stuff. I'm just now kind of starting to use social media to get some of my puppet stuff out there as I start to conceptualize a little bit more and produce some more content for stuff. But hopefully within the next year or so, I'll be able to have a place where people can see all of my puppet stuff. But yeah, man, just right now, I'm just kind of waiting things out and just doing my best to get through the days. You know what I mean? But yeah, come follow me and come be foolish with me on social media. I use social media for foolishness pretty much.
That's what it should be. It should be for fun.
For fun. Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not influencing anybody with some content here. So it should all be a good time.
Right. Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me and being an amazing guest. It was so fun to hear about your production. God, I wish I could have seen it.
What a ride.
Because it was an experience. I hope someone bootlegged it. Someone's in there in the audience.
I'm sure it's out there somewhere. Oh, I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
Awesome.
And if I find it, I got you.
Yeah, if you find it, send it my way. That would be my next plane ride. I'll boot it up to my iPad and I'll have equally amount of people staring at me being like, why is this guy watching Cats?
What is he doing? Yeah, I got you. Oh my gosh. Well, thanks for having me, man. I had a great time. I had a lot of fun.
Thanks for listening to this episode with Fergie L. Philippe on The Wrong Cat Died, the podcast breakdown of the catastrophe. To follow along, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or anywhere else you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Wrong Cat Died, or check out our website, thewrongcatdied.com.